Have you ever wondered what your pen is thinking? Or if your coffee cup has, I don't know, a strong opinion about your cat? Well, in this explainer, we're diving into a really fascinating collection of philosophical thoughts from some very unusual speakers. We're going to piece it all together to explore the very nature of perspective and maybe even reality itself. So our first thought comes from a place you'd never expect, a pen. It poses this beautiful question, pointing out that words are only a single letter away from worlds. Right away, you realize this isn't just a tool for writing. It's a philosopher, thinking about the incredible power locked inside language and maybe even the consciousness of its own creations. First up, we're jumping into a world where everyday objects aren't just sitting there. Nope, they're active thinkers, each with a completely unique and sometimes pretty profound point of view on their own existence. The pen starts with that simple but brilliant observation about words and worlds. But it doesn't stop there. It just spins out this whole web of incredible questions. Like, what if we could flip our entire perspective? Could the universes we imagine in stories actually turn around and resent us for creating them? And this is the big one. Where do you even draw the line for consciousness? But then you get a completely different vibe. For all the pen's philosophical wonder, the cup of coffee is, well, it's way more down to earth. It knows its job, block adenosine and the brain. For the cup, the cat walking by is way more interesting than any deep thoughts. And right there, you see this huge divide between abstract wonder and just, concrete purpose. Okay, so we've heard from objects. Now let's shift gears and talk about actual conscious beings. In this next part, we're going to see how our physical and even our psychological viewpoints can create totally different and sometimes clashing realities. First, we hear from the tall sprite. Its height gives it a literally higher perspective, right? A pretty neat advantage for seeing over buildings. But you can also feel that hint of something deeper. How does being physically different actually shape the way you see the world, and maybe more importantly, how the world sees you? And talk about a 180. Our next speaker, the skeptic, just completely rejects this constant drive for ambition and movement. He's like, why is going from here to there the only thing anyone wants to do? For the skeptic, there's just as much meaning, maybe even more, in just being still, in the simple act of looking at bricks. And this is the crucial point. The skeptic is challenging our most basic assumptions. The root of the word animation is life. But does life really require movement? The skeptic says no. A rich, complicated inner world can exist in total stillness, proving that just thinking and reflecting is its own powerful way of living. So if we're questioning what it means to be alive, that kind of forces us to ask an even bigger question. What even is reality? We're about to go deeper now, and not just question our perspective in reality, but the fundamental fabric of our existence. Are things really what they seem? And this is where things get really wild. The ideas guy chimes in with this absolute bombshell. Through what he calls logical deduction, he's come to the conclusion that our entire existence might just be a digital simulation, that we're all just pixels trapped inside some kind of box. And that question just kind of hangs there, doesn't it? It forces you to just stop and think about the boundaries of your own world. I mean, what if he's right? Okay, so to get our next perspective, we need a quick definition. In computing, null is a really powerful idea. It's not the number zero, it's the intentional absence of a value. Think of it like a placeholder for nothingness. So the skull, which is literally a symbol of non-existence, grabs onto this digital idea. It uses the concept of null to ask this chilling question. If our life, our animation, is just a long string of ones and zeros, what happens when it's over? Do we just go to null? Just as we're getting lost in all these heavy questions about pixels and nothingness, a totally new perspective shows up. And it comes from the most overlooked character in this whole symposium, offering this surprising moment of total clarity. And if you look back, the hits were there all along. The pen imagined making cats talk, but the child just stated it like it was a fact. We were told the cat was merely studying us, just quietly observing all our weird human behaviors. This wasn't just a house pet, it was an anthropologist in a fur coat. And at first, we hear exactly what we'd expect to hear from a cat. But then, the whole facade just drops. The act is over, and the truth is about to come out. And here it is. The cat's big secret is that its silence is a strategy. By not speaking, it avoids what it calls the baggage of words. It can perfectly control how we see it. One minute it's just a simple, cute animal, and the next it's being completely ignored. It has no history, no promises, no opinions to live up to. That gives it a unique kind of freedom. It's a true master of perception, not through what it says, but through what it doesn't say. So, what are we supposed to do with all this? How can a philosophical pen, a practical coffee cup, a skeptical guy, and a super strategic cat all exist in the same reality? Well, our final speaker has a theory that just might tie this whole thing together. The elder suggests there's this underlying rhythm that connects everyone. It's described as a gentle, evanescent memory of other worlds. This idea suggests that all these different voices, the pen, the skeptic, the cat, they're all connected by this shared, almost subconscious echo of other possibilities, other realities. So it's not chaos. It's actually a super complex harmony, held together by a memory we've almost forgotten. And that leaves us with one last, really provocative thought. If our reality is just a collection of subjective viewpoints, a bunch of illusions held together by a faint rhythm, then maybe the most meaningful thing we can do is to consciously choose which of those illusions we want to feed and believe in. What do you think?